So I have Indian Dance Europe is an organization that I founded to work with different kinds of organizations in the Netherlands. And I just wanted to quickly just say something, not to talk about too much about myself, but how I started to get interested in dance, because that's usually where it happens for all dancers. At a very young age, I started to learn different kinds of dance forms. Started with ballet and contemporary dance, like most people in the Netherlands actually. And then I discovered Indian dance. And when I had to make a choice about what I would focus on, the richness and the depth and the content, because a lot of dance styles are about form, but the content that was embedded in these dance forms, whether it's folkloristic or more classical, really did something to me that if I had to make a choice, I would stay. Something clicked, and with most things in arts, once that click comes, it hardly ever goes away. Also contemporary dance and Bharatanatyam. And when we talk about what the additional value is of Indian classical dance styles, I think especially in the reference to the Netherlands, where contemporary dance, a very aesthetically form-related dance, this content, the narrative aspect, the stories that you bring, a means of telling other new different stories, is very interesting to reach new audience. So I work in the Netherlands. What I basically do is I work in the intersection of programming and publicity in the Netherlands. Indian Dance Europe, and one festival that I will highlight is India Dance Festival. That's a festival that presents a lot of Indian dance, both from India as well as local artists. And I work in marketing and publicity, both in Indian dance and for a theater company. So this intersection is really what defines how I work, which is good to know when you place all the different people of the panel here to know that. Not clicking. Oh, yes. So with the India Dance Festival, that's a very big festival in the Netherlands. It started out as Holland India Festivals with a branch for music, cinema, and dance. And with cinema, the festival's no longer there because it's now been incorporated in regular programming in the film house cinema in The Hague. So that festival's no longer there, which is usually a big goal to have it embedded in the main programming. But for music, it's still there, and for dance also. Some artists that we had on the left, it's Tari Dilum by Malavika Sarukai, which was last edition, in which ICCR actually helped also. Gauri Divakar came, for example, for Kathak dance, and some artists that we're planning to have this season are Parshvanath Upadhyay for Bharatanatyam and Janaki Rangarajan. There are many more, but it's just a glimpse. So I wanted to share with you, when we talk about how to present this culturally related dance form that has a very strong context to a new audience, what worked for us in the Netherlands. I don't know if it would work exactly in your country for your respective fields, but I thought I'd present it as a best case scenario for how it worked for us, is juxtaposing the classical form in its traditional context with more contemporary productions. And for example, on the right, there's the Bharatanatyam couple Ranjit and Vijana. They're based in Chennai, and they're very upcoming Bharatanatyam couple. And they presented a show where there was both classical and contemporary. And another thing that helped with us with introducing wider audiences to Indian dance is, for example, Shailesh Bahoran. He's of Surinamese descent. I just want to ask, how many of you know the country of Suriname? A few. It's very important because when we talk about the Indian diasporic community, which is a great carrier of the Indian culture and arts, a lot of the Indian diasporic community are based in the West Indies and South America. And Suriname has a lot of different cultures. Actually, it's very interesting. When someone says, I'm Surinamese, you can still be many things. And the Surinamese Hindustani community, as we call the community there, the diaspora community, is over 25% of Suriname. And it's actually about 27. And a lot of them came to the Netherlands, so a lot of people of Indian descent come from this double migration and have these additional stories to tell. So what Shailesh Boharan did is made with a language that he speaks, which is actually urban dance. He's not an Indian classical dancer, but he works with the themes of his history and both the themes of Indian culture in broader sense, and works with that to present it to the local audience, which is also a very successful way. So we see here this juxtaposing of traditional classical with something that is more locally related. In form, contemporary dance, because contemporary dance is quite big actually in the Netherlands. One of the big contemporary dance companies, Nederlands Danstheater, is based in The Hague, or in form of content, not forgetting the roots and the tradition. That's very important. Visibility in print media, getting press, it's growing each year. In the beginning, it was a little bit difficult because one of the things that we also heard is, well, we don't know a lot. We don't know a lot to program it, to present it, let alone to write about it, either in pre-publicity or giving reviews. And that's growing actually a lot. I can't play this from here. Can someone press the link for me? It's a video link. It will go to YouTube, I hope. I won't show the entire 7 minutes. Just a few. This is actually the. So these are two local artists in music, Lenneke van Stalen, and actually he's a tabla player. Can we stop and now go back to the presentation? Because actually they did the same thing for Abhinay. So what we also do here is whenever we have press and media to share something about the background. This was a very small rhythmical presentation. And again, we connected with local artists. Lenneke van Stalen is a very renowned violinist, also specialized in classical music. And Heiko Dijker is a tabla player. The actual performance was done with the miridangam, of course. But for this program, we connected with both the artists from India and some local, very renowned artists to present it. So what this festival has done is it's created a national platform to show Indian dance more with these both facets. And it's grown each year. It's been around for 8 years, and for the last edition there were about 5,500 people. And also the audiences keep getting more and more diverse, just like at the Battery Dance Festival. In the beginning it used to be the Indian diaspora community mostly because they were more familiar, and they're also mostly based in The Hague, where this festival also takes place. But now with more press, and visibility in national media, and also a little bit more knowledge. People started to get to know more about the form. The audience has become more diverse. So in presenting it, this is a form that has worked for us. It may work in your respective countries, or maybe you would have another kind of strategic way to present it. One last thing, I just want to check how many minutes I have left. Or can someone tell me? Okay, yeah. Because this is another thing that I wanted to highlight. We of course have the national platforms, a theater which has funding, but a very important aspect I think also when we talk about soft power and carrying the soft power and the culture is the community. What they do is usually less visible than a festival like this with media attention, but they are the first ambassadors, they are the first practitioners, they are your first marketeers, they are your first programmers, so to speak, and they are your first audiences. And with their projects and the teachers that teach the classes, they build the base there, and they're usually very resourceful because with little means they still keep that culture going. So what I would, I'll come to that in a minute. So what worked for us, this is a small summary, international artists and community opportunities for local talent, the visibility and engaging local audiences. With education, especially, and that's where the community comes in, they do a lot of things that are usually not so high profile on a national scale, but they are very important. And what would be able to take it to the next step is, it kind of refers to what Miraji was saying, education opportunities, incidentally or more on a structural basis, with forming an academy or a school or a local place with a holistic view where the students locally can continue their studies and invest in them in that way. Soft power, we often quickly talk about means, but it's also about sharing the knowledge and the expertise in that sense, and that would also bring it to the next level. So that's actually what I put here on this presentation, on this sheet. So investing also in the community, and with the community of Indian dance mostly would be coming from the Indian diaspora community, but there are also a lot of people that do not come from that community per se, but discover the dance and are also part of this group of allies, ambassadors, and local carriers of the form. So please don't forget them as well. And I hope that with bringing this forward, we can try to establish some form of exchange more with the different countries and India, because the resources are here, and that could be a very fruitful thing to try and accomplish. So this was my presentation. Thank you.